Enzo Amore is back, not in WWE, but with his first rap song. Now, this is after he announced a couple of weeks back. I didn't have a chance to talk about this because that was the 1 week that I took off. But he announced that the investigation into the allegations of rape, basically, sexual assault against him, was closed and that no charges were being filed. So then he comes out with this song. This song is called Phoenix. Not only a song, but he's got a whole music video. This has obviously been in the works for quite a while. The song is called Phoenix, like a phoenix rising from the ashes or some such thing. I listened to it. I watched the video. Obviously, I wasn't a fan of the beginning of it, where he's basically just mocking wrestling fans. He's got this fat, out of shape guy eating Cheetos, and it's the stereotypical representation of internet wrestling fans, and he just completely tears into wrestling fans at the beginning of the video, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. But I watched the video, I listened to the song. Honestly, it's no worse than any rappers that I've heard on SoundCloud, which is not to say it's good. It's not. But he's certainly no worse than some of the other people I've heard. And if you read the lyrics, I'm not going to read them all, but the lyrics are not all that bad, right? There's this one part of the song where he's like, TMZ owes me some restitution in the midst of dissolution, choosing public prosecution over Constitution ain't the right solution, gender persecution. All that is fine. Whatever, except for the one part where he talks about his consensual penis. That may be one of the dumbest lyrics in the history of music. This is the part of the song. He goes, "They cry tears of joy at my funeral. Still I rise from the ashes like a phoenix, middle finger to the sky, gripping my consensual penis. Lion-ass hoe out in Phoenix, when I say that shit, I mean it. Fuck you, Marks, for hating. This for all my fans waiting. Entertainment's hottest free agent, bitch, I'm reincarnated." So, the rest of the lyrics, though, aside from that, if you read them, are not terrible. Listening to him sing it is a different story, though. It's his first song. Maybe he'll get better at this. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of what I heard. But the reason I bring this up is it also does not mean that he's coming back to WWE just because this case was dropped. This idea that I see some people peddling or even posts in the Facebook group and stuff, so now this paves the way, doesn't it, for Enzo to come back to WWE? Or WWE now has to bring him back. They did him wrong. They did him dirty. When's he coming back? They don't have to bring him back. No, they don't. They don't have to ever bring him back. There's one of two things going on here. You either believe that A, they fired him because he failed to inform them that he was under investigation for rape by the police, which Enzo vehemently denies. He came out this week, he says he didn't even know about these charges until they were this whole thing was made public. He denies ever knowing that he was under investigation until much later on, which, if he's telling the truth, can only lead to option B, which is that WWE was just fishing for a reason to get rid of the guy. There were already plenty of stories that I'm sure many of you remember reading about him rubbing people the wrong way backstage, him bringing guests who didn't belong there, into the locker room who were very disruptive. He made, certain enemies behind the scenes with certain people. And then this happens. This, of all things to be accused of, he's accused of sexual assault. And that was all the reason they needed to cut ties with him, because who would question WWE over such a thing? And people did question them because they felt, well, it's not fair to Enzo, innocent until proven guilty. So there were people who came down hard on WWE when they first, got rid of him. But, it's hard to come down on the company too much, because this person is accused of something heinous. Who wants to be associated with that, right? So they found their reason. And they took action. They kind of jumped at the chance to get rid of the guy. This gave them sort of the cover reason to do so. And if he's that big of a pain in the ass, why in the world, just because the investigation is now over, would they bring him back? Just because the charges were dropped? So what? They're under no obligation to bring this guy back. I've seen other people say 205 Live has not been the same without him. That show needs him. 205 Live needs Enzo Amore. He was an attraction. The company could use him right now. I don't think WWE is any better or any worse without Enzo Amore. You either are a fan of what WWE is doing right now and you're excited by the product and you're excited by the shakeup and the way SmackDown looks now and Triple H is taking 205 Live in a different direction. NXT is kind of firing, I feel like, on all cylinders right now. You're either a fan of what WWE is doing or you hate what WWE is doing right now. You're bored by the product. You don't even watch week to week anymore. You just are waiting for this big creative wave to wash over this company. But I don't think in either one of those instances, no matter which side of the fence you fall on, does Enzo Amore even factor into this. Enzo coming back, I don't think changes anything for anybody. If they want to bring the guy back, great, go ahead and bring him back. I could personally give a rat's ass if he ever comes back, but some people might. I don't have any preference one way or the other. But just because the charges were dropped does not mean that WWE is under any obligation to bring this guy back. They don't have to do a damn thing.